another week of Game Picks with Jamal. How are you doing, Jamal?
Good, man. How's everything going, brother?
So good. I was just having an interview with Joey and Mike Harley Jr. So that was really fun to record. And yeah, but now we're on to Game Picks. So as you can see, the guys that are seeing the graphic on screen, I'm going a little crazy this week. Am I losing my head because I went to from first to fourth? Maybe, but I'm going crazy this week. I'm going some crazy picks. My first pick that I wanna say is I'm going for Berlin against Rhine Fire. Rhine Fire is not convincing me at all against
Ooh,
these teams. They lost against the Raiders. They barely won against the Hamburg Sea Devils, even though the Sea Devils didn't even play with a quarterback for the second half. And I think that's probably what saved Rhine Fire because if Hamburg had the quarterback for the second half, that Rhine might have lost. And you know who has a quarterback that's playing pretty well right now in a team that's coming up? It's
who's that?
Jacob Sullivan and the Berlin Thunder. So I'm rolling with the Thunder for this one. I want a crazy upset. And yeah, I said in the Insiders group chat, my hot take for the last three games of the week is that Ryan Fire misses the playoffs and loses out to miss the playoffs, ends the season with a negative record. So the first step is for them to lose to Berlin. So that's why I went for Berlin. What do you think about this pick?
Yeah, I think you know what. You're not crazy to think or how you feel about the Round Five because they've been very inconsistent.
Yeah,
I just don't know if this is the game that they lose. I don't know if Berlin could play a full game. To be honest with you, I think
that's
they
fair.
showed
That's
some
fair.
sparks against Nordic, but I don't know if they could play a full game. And you got to think Fire still have Madrid and the Raiders. So if they lose this
Yeah,
game, they could lose out like you're saying.
that's
Um,
what I'm saying.
I
I'm
think one
saying
thing we
if I'm saying if they focus up on Madrid and Raiders and try to be ready for those games, they might get caught off guard in this game against Berlin. That's what I'm hoping for, I guess.
yeah, I think we saw something from the offense last week with them being able to push the ball downfield a little bit. Obviously, Chad had about 300 and some change, but interesting pick. I'm not mad at it though. I respect it. Interesting pick.
Nice.
But I think
All
Ryan
right,
pulls this one off.
I have another very interesting pick that I went for. I'm rolling, and this one is I'm maybe a little more scared to do it, but I'm rolling with the Frankfurt Galaxy against the undefeated Nordic Storm this weekend. So as you said, Berlin showed some sparks against the Nordic. I think it's because Berlin they're bringing it together a little bit. They added some key pieces through the season, and they're coming together in my opinion. But also another team that's coming together is the Frankfurt Galaxy. They're hot after putting up 75 against Cologne. I don't know if they necessarily are able to put up 51 in one quarter against the Nordic like they did against Cologne, but I don't think they need 51. I think if Wang and Easton and Kaya and that amazing offense that's been playing, they made the Surge shit the bed. The Surge was scared. The Surge won in the end by 15, but the Surge were scared for I say at least two quarters and a half of that game. So, my opinion, Frankfurt Galaxy are gonna come in against the Nordic Storm. They're gonna give them a tough game. They're playing at home. Purple Hell is gonna be a huge impact in this game.
They got the orange
And
jerseys this game.
true, also alternate jerseys, the orange jerseys this game. The only problem that I have is that we're playing against Jason Clark.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary every week. but yeah, I'm falling back in the standings. I want to get some upset wins, and I think this is a good week to get a couple upset wins. How do you see this Nordic Frankfurt game?
Yeah, I think when you have the best quarterback in the league, who just had his best performance in the league, threw for
Yeah,
519 yards, had a pair of receivers and tight ends get 3 touchdowns, and you're going up against maybe the most suspect secondary in the league. I don't think it's a good matchup. I would say this: Bijan Harris has elevated that secondary, and I don't know why he hasn't.
Bijan is gonna have three picks, one of
Yeah,
them being a pick six, and two punt returns for a touchdown. He's gonna carry the team.
I don't know why he hasn't been signed from the beginning. I don't know what
True,
teams are looking at, but
true.
Bijan Harris has definitely upgraded that secondary. So we'll
Yeah,
see. But I
Also,
high
Wang and
scoring game.
Easton, man. Give some props to Wang and Easton as well. They're playing awesome on offense.
Yeah,
Like Wang is bringing out players on the Frankfurt Galaxy offense that when they started playing with Wang, I was like, "Oh right, you're playing there. Like you're a
yeah,
good player on that team. I forgot you were there." Like Kaya, for example. Where was Kaya all the rest of
yeah,
the year? You know?
yeah. No, absolutely. Kevin Kaya. I mean, Matt and I just did a dual post about guys who could use a change of scenery. I think Kevin Kaya has not been used properly with Frankfurt, and he could definitely use a change of scenery next year. We saw what he did when he was with Markel Castle the year before.
Yeah.
So it definitely is going to be interesting. But I look at this Nordic defense, and I think they're similar to the Surge in regards to like, good up front, skill, talented, fast, a bunch of guys who feel like overlooked and underrated, and they all wear that chip on their shoulder. I don't think they're going to overlook Frankfurt. And until I see Frankfurt do it, it was similar to um, like uh, like the Raiders and then beating a quality opponent. Until I see them do it, I'm not gonna believe it's gonna happen. That's another team that's probably stuck in between trying to figure out what their identity is. But I think Nordic pulled this off. But it's gonna be an interesting game. I'm not gonna lie because, like I said, Bijan Harris has elevated that secondary, and we'll see how they play.
One thing I can say, in my opinion, I don't know the lines yet, but whatever the line is for the points on this game, if you're a betting man, smash the over on this game. This is going to
Yeah,
be such a fun game to follow. It's going to be 70 plus points. It's going to be, well, that's what I'm hoping for. Like, I'm
yeah,
hoping for a game that's going to be really, really fun on offense. And I think that's what we're going to have. And I'm hoping for the Frankfurt Galaxy to kind of keep in it, like the Surge, maybe sneak away with it in the end for my picks, but in general, it's going to be a fun game to follow. But
absolutely.
other than my crazy stuff that I've wanted to do this week, let's move on to the game of the week. There's one clear favorite. What's the game of the week for this week?
Hey, we gotta go to the south. We gotta go to Bravo land, Bull land
Yep,
in
yep.
Madrid as they're playing the Raiders.
The
Um,
Valle Hermoso.
yeah, the Raiders almost gave this game away last time they played. They
But
literally,
I was there in
yeah,
Innsbruck when they played the first leg of this game, 35-34. It was just a 2 point conversion at the end. It was probably one of the best games in the whole year, to be honest.
yeah, and a bad read by Reesenet, and they end up losing. So
Yeah.
that again, something like that doesn't give me confidence that the Raiders are the clear better team. Um, I think they did a good job at getting out to a fast start, but when you're playing against the best show in Europe, you gotta score points, but you also gotta stop them. And I don't see if Madrid gets to the playoffs, they're gonna give a lot of teams issues because they just you outside of that Hamburg game week 1, they haven't been under 21 points, 28 points
Yeah.
a game.
Yeah. Probably
So
28. Like they score over 30 every week. It feels like.
yeah, yeah. So you gotta figure out how to limit them to like 17 and below, right?
It's not.
Otherwise they're gonna score almost every play.
Yeah. Do you think Madrid's defense is gonna come more prepared? Like every one of us is going for Madrid this game, and it's also probably because probably most of us expect to split. And when Raiders won at home, we're expecting Madrid to win at home as well. But my question is, at the game last time, it was clear as day. The only reason why Madrid had to like get into that situation where they were first forced into a mistake on the 2 point conversion was they couldn't stop the offense for
Yeah,
the Raiders. Especially, they couldn't stop the rushing game. Like Madrid will score in like 2 minutes by like huge plays to the two young guys, JFC and Torre de Dia, or where Dragan wasn't even there. I think maybe he was just back, first game back.
yeah,
Well, we all know Cruikshank has been tearing it up the whole season. The problem was they didn't have a rushing game. Meaning Justus was just injured, or Edu
yeah.
Molina wasn't at that level that he's
I think that
playing
was
right
his
now.
first game starting.
Exactly. He wasn't at that level yet. And on the other side, Bonatti was ill, but he still had a good impact in the fourth. And Hansel Vanter, I don't know how to pronounce that name, but number 24, the running back for the Raiders, had a huge game. They couldn't stop him anywhere. I think he broke out about twice. He looked like Saquon Barkley against the Los Angeles Rams. I know you're a Rams fan, so I
Yeah.
had to dig at you with that one. But yeah, do you think the Raiders are able to no, the Madrid defense is able to stop the Raiders this weekend?
It's gonna be hard because you got to figure out where Cruikshank is, right?
Yeah.
But what makes it hard is not just Cruikshank and not just Forrest Calderon, who's been balling all year, but ever since Sexton Dragons came back and play, he's elevated the offense even more.
Yeah.
Raul Cerruta and Raul Cerruta is back too. They're granted they don't use the tight end much, but that's just more weapons, right?
Yeah.
Justice Seelig is back. Elo Molina is back. They're besides Nico Barrow not being in the offense, they're at probably like 90% of like their talent. So they got
what about
guys.
the other way around though? Do you think the Madrid defense can keep them? Like if the Madrid get 2 stops, in my opinion, 2 or 3 stops during the game, that's enough for Madrid to win the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the question. Like, how does Madrid defense stop the Raiders? Because if I'm the Raiders, I'm controlling the clock. I'm limiting possessions for Reesenet to get on the field, and I'm hoping my defense could get a stop or two. And then when they do get a stop, you have to score. I think last week when the Raiders played Munich, they only scored 3 points in the second half, but they still had a chance to put the game away. But it was in the fourth quarter around the 5-minute mark. They literally had the ball. All they needed was 3 points. Sack, fourth down, punt the ball. Munich goes down and scores. If they would have scored at least 3 points, that would have been a 2-possession game. It would have been over. So, the defense has to get stops, but Raiders have to play complementary ball and make sure that like they take advantage of those opportunities. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. Also, as you said, like last week the Raiders, gave up the ball in a crucial moment where they needed points. The first time that the Bravos played the Raiders, I don't know if you remember, they were up and they had the ball. Then they were stopped. Madrid gets the ball back. They're able to go down the field. Ultimately, they don't get the 2-point conversion. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if the Raiders can keep playing on offense for fourth quarter, like through the fourth quarter, because you can be up, but against some of these offenses like the Ravens and like the Bravos and some other in the league, you can't stop playing for a quarter because you're gonna fall behind. They're gonna keep putting up points if you stop playing for a quarter. So, yeah, that's gonna be definitely interesting. My question, of course, the next one is who's the player to watch for this week? Doesn't have to be in the Raiders Bravos game. Probably will be though because it's the most exciting game that there is this weekend. So, who's your player to watch?
Yeah, for me, it'd be easy to go with someone like a Nico Kandar, right, type player, or like a Kari
Pyrainen.
Yeah, Pyrainen. But those guys are playing Cologne and the Enthroner, so that I don't want to take the easy way out. I'm gonna go with a different running back. I'm gonna go with Alexander Kennedy Shannon for Nordic. I think he's taken over the role the past couple of weeks as the star running back, right? And he's a threat in the pass game too. And again, I think Jadrian's going to take advantage of the mismatch with him on the linebacker. So I'm gonna go with Alexander Kennedy Shannon, the young buck.
Wow.
Potentially a offensive rookie of the year nominee. I don't think he'll win it, but he's definitely had a good season.
I'm impressed with this pick because I thought you were gonna say someone like a Botella Moreno, who's kind of like a must start, to be honest, at tight end, because you kind of have him or Beer Bomber as the 2 options if you want a top tier tight end. But yeah, it's impressive to see that you picked a Russian player in a game where I was seeing the offense take over in the passing game, actually. So
well, he's a threat in the passing game, and he was only about 1.7 on fantasy too. So that's a steal. That's a bargain.
True. Well, as always, Jamal gave you a good pick. That someone that is a little bit under the radar, a bargain. I'm gonna give you the easy pick. Don't miss this pick. Play the Paris Musketeers defense against the Cologne. I think the Frankfurt defense had about 55 points last week or something like that. And I get it. They have BJ, and he had 2 punt returns for a touchdown. That count too because it's D/special teams. But you know how good this Paris defense is. If you're not starting them this weekend, you're a dumbass. So make sure you have them in your lineup.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so I think we're good, right? We're good for game picks. Let's go. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in as all the other weeks. And we have an announcement coming soon, so make sure you stick around to the First Time Magazine and also the Athletes Forum channels here, and also follow us on Instagram, of course. We're very active. We have everything you might want to see if you love football in Europe, so make sure you're in there. And yeah, thank you so much. Leave a like, drop a comment, and share this with all of your family, all of your friends, and everything. And see you soon.